Alright, so we are back, of course, to talk about Final Fantasy VII Remake, but more specifically this time, Barret. Now, Barret having melee weapons in the remake is not really a surprise. Even in the original game, he had a pretty big list of melee weapons. In the original game, he had 16 weapons, and like 5 or 6 of them were melee weapons, so for a guy with a gun arm, he did have a lot of close-range combat weapons. Now, we didn't have confirmation up until recently that he would have these kinds of weapons in the remake, but we just pretty much assumed they would be in the game, and then the theme song trailer happened, and we had that brief clip of him using the atomic scissors. So it's really cool to see that they're putting this in the remake as well, right? Barret had melee weapons and gun arms in the original game, they're doing it for the remake as well, but what's interesting to speculate on is how different he's going to fight. Now, I talked about in my demo breakdown video I did a while back how when they give you a brief description of Barret's, they actually specify ranged weapons. This was the first instance for me where I knew that there had to be melee weapons in the game, because they say holding down square releases a sustained burst of automatic fire when equipped with a ranged weapon. So for them to specify ranged weapons mean there had to be non-ranged weapons for Barret. But it turns out if you look in the menus of the demo, there's actually a section where they talk about Cloud and Barret's strengths, and in the Barret section they actually briefly talk about his melee weapons. Really quickly, shout out to Forte224 over on Reddit for actually capturing this, because I wasn't aware. I haven't looked in the menus that much on the game. Now, the part that he circled says, when equipped with a melee weapon, his normal attack and unique ability will transform into close combat attacks. Now, this by itself also isn't really news either. It would make sense for, I don't know, a chainsaw type weapon to be shooting bullets at people. And we've known for a while now that each and every weapon has its own unique ability, and it makes sense that a close combat weapon would have a close combat ability attached to it. But what I've seen people speculate on with this Reddit post is whether or not his limit breaks are going to be different based on the weapon that he's using. Now, at first, it's actually a pretty good question. My personal thoughts before we even get into like breaking it down, I don't think he would have different limit breaks. Because say he has, I don't even know how many limit breaks are going to be in the game, but let's say each character has 6. Then he'd have to have another 6 based on the fact that he has melee weapons equipped. That means Barret would have 12 different limit breaks. And I don't think that's going to be the case. But I do get where people are coming from, and it does make sense to discuss it, because when it comes to, let's say, the demo, the only limit break that Barret has is the fire in the hole limit break, which he gathers a bunch of energy and shoots at the enemy. An attack like that doesn't really make a lot of sense for something like, let's say, the drill arm. It's not a shooting projectile weapon. And actually, we can use Cloud as an example in the situation as well. We know that one of his limit breaks is cross slash, but we also know that one of the weapons in the game for him is the nail bat. Now, it does have nails in it, so you technically could be kind of slashing or cutting at enemies, but let's be completely honest here, a bat is a blunt weapon. It doesn't make a lot of sense that a bat is doing a slash type of attack. But I can almost guarantee you, like 99.9% certain, that you can do cross slash with a nail bat in Final Fantasy VII Remake. The best way to look at it is limit breaks have nothing to do with the weapons that you're using. They are a character ability. Whenever you unlock cross slash, let's say in the original game, you can use that with any of Cloud's weapons. It's not based on the weapon you're using, it's just something that Cloud can do. Now, that all being said, when it comes to the original game, there is one of Barret's limit breaks that kind of hints towards the possibility of like close range specific limit breaks with Hammer Blow. Now, with that attack, he runs up on the enemy, hits him with instant death, but it's still a close range type of attack, right? So there is a bit of evidence, even in the original game, that supports close range specific limit breaks. So it could be a possibility in the remake. Now, something I am pretty curious about is when it comes to that description we read earlier, it says that the melee weapons have unique abilities that are close range attacks. How's it going to work when you switch over to a ranged weapon with Barret? Because as we mentioned previously, every weapon has its own unique ability that you can learn. And once you use it enough times, you learn it permanently with any and every weapon. So if you learn a close range ability with one of Barret's melee weapons, do you just run up with one of your gun weapons and just smack them with the gun arm? I don't know. But even on the flip side of that, when it comes to the demo, Barret has the overcharge ability for triangle, which is a shooting type of attack. Once you learn that attack permanently in, let's say, the full game, when you switch over to a melee weapon, can you use that? Because that obviously wouldn't make a lot of sense. It obviously doesn't make any sense on paper, but they say that that's how the abilities work. Once you learn them permanently, you can use them with any weapon. So it'd be kind of weird to run around with a melee weapon of Barret's, but doing shooting type of attacks. But that might be how it is in the game. But I want to pass off to you guys, of course. It feels like we haven't done a discussion video in a while. I don't know if there's an answer out there right now for this. There might be. If there is, be sure and let me know. But what do you guys think? How do you think this is going to work? Your ranged abilities that you learn permanently, can you use them on your melee weapons? And do you think the melee weapons are going to have different limit breaks than the ranged ones? Leave your thoughts and more in the comment section below. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you guys are new and want to see more Final Fantasy VII Remake content. Turn on my notifications. Follow me on Twitter at @dashingdavid, and my Discord. Links to my social networks are in the description and in the outro. Later, guys. Give me forever for a while, give me forever for a while. Quit acting like